Life is best described as a deformed, abominate creature with 17 filthy tentacles, 2 not-so-filthy one, 8 heads, and 3.5 bat-like wings, growing and making every kind of undesirable noise. But it tastes like cake, and who doesn't like cake? Welcome to the Night Vale Community College.
Remember, you know it happened. You cannot run away from it. You cannot run away at all. The incompatibility to blend the truth is a foregone miscalculation. Memories are our sole guide in the infinite labyrinth. We still lack the knowledge or the sanity to cease the foolishness of looking for an exit. You cannot search in the wrong path. Your worst nightmare is not what you lost, but what you will find, what you threw away, what will come back for you, hunting like a predator. An incomplete puzzle throwing away the pieces is the epitome of ingratitude. The Dark One has risen. Member.
Students, there's something I must tell you. Something that you deserve to know. Something I've forgotten. Something everyone has forgotten. Something I made everyone forget. But first, let's start from the beginning for a change. It started a few months ago. As you know, I was a member of the science department. My present then, which is now my past, was almost perfect. I'd found my place, breaking the laws of physics and bending the truths in reality to my own will, comprehending the structure of the universe beyond the limitations of my perception, to try and find something as solid as fact in a sea of ever-changing subjectivities, and to hold on to it, not to be dragged by the flow, for I feared what I'd find in the end. Or, actually, I feared not knowing what would lie there. One day, however, listening to the Night Vale Community Radio, as I did every night, listening to Cecil Palmer's mesmerizing voice, I noticed a piece of paper enter my room, being dragged by the wind or by one of the many ethereal forces flying through the nocturnal, half-asleep town. It was a note, filled with scribbled formulas and hurried observations. It obviously belonged to a scientist, but, well, everyone's been a scientist at one point or another in their lives. But why now? I noticed some tire tracks on the note. Whoever it was probably lost the paper on their way somewhere. I stopped listening to the radio after Cecil warned us about the new dog park that had just opened. I turned my attention to the paper, and it was amazing. It made me realize something, that the way we see things is completely wrong. That there is no fact. At least not if we externalize them. Truth, lies, facts, hoaxes, reality, fiction, unity, and entropy. If we look at it all through a holistic eyes, we realize that we never could see the big picture because we're part of it. However, we look at reality. We'll never escape the prison of our own eyes, so we need to embrace it. If our reality is what we see, remember that you can control your eyes. The note said that the scientist's suspicion of whether or not Solecism is the only truth would be confirmed here, in this unusual town, written in this mysterious note as the most scientifically interesting community in the U.S., Night Vale. Suddenly, I understood the anonymous scientist. I, too, had once seen Night Vale as an outsider. But I had an advantage. I'd been here for a while. I had the key that the scientist was looking for. I knew the truth. In the next day, at the science department, I started my experiment, my creation, the miraculous, outstanding, thought-provoking, groundbreaking, terrifying, despiteful, mind-blowing, twisted, truthful, erroneous, confused, hypo-ironic, fluffy thing. My theory was simple, really. Reality is constructed by memories, and memories are woven by reality. It is viscous, it is never-ending, like the cycle of water. Rain to sea, sea to rain. But this place is a desert. Not only physical, but also a psychological one. We say nothing and drink to forget. We have no real memories. No anchor as to what and what not to allow. We live for today and we pray today won't kill us. And our reality is as weird and as confusing and incoherent as our memories. This is a desert. This is Night Vale, the border between awake and asleep. Too exciting to be real, and too self-conscious to be a dream. But if there's only one way to stop, I thought. The never-ending cycle, it begins anew, like a cloud glowing heavier and heavier, but never breaking into rain. If only... And then it hit me. It took me a while to create it. A cloud made of reality itself, glowing with the power of memories it repressed. It was wonderful and menacing, but to create it, I had to use some memory. But then I remembered him, the boy who ignored my letter. As far as I knew, I loathed him. I despised him. So I used him to give life to my cloud. Erased him, both from my memory and from reality itself. But it turns out that erasing a student from existence using an ethereal almighty cloud is against school rules due to some recently approved laws. And Sarah Sultan, a smooth-fist-sized river rock, wrote a note banishing me from the science department and condemning me to a nightmarish life of college radio hosting, of all things. I drowned in solitude and madness. But madness is for TV, and this is radio, so I switched back to sanity, and finally, it was all okay. The cloud was relatively stable. Sure, it acquired some sentience, and was occasionally bleeding out parts of reality that could have been like raining dead animals, but, all things considered, it was fitting and alright. And me? I kinda learned to enjoy this radio thing. And I've even forgotten about my past and my creation until recently, when something happened. Something that made us all forget everything again and trigger the glow cloud effect on an even bigger scale. Beer. We drank too much because of the... I'll explain it all because I finally remember. All my memories are back, at least as far as I know. But let's cut first to Jerry the Parrot, our noble and beautifully accurate cover artist, to calm our minds with that amazing song. And I'll remind you all of the party.
Some day wants to hold me back, wants to hold me back, and I'm trying to save myself from dying by my old ways.
So, picture this. Corpses everywhere. A destroyed unknown annex center. A couple of students running from an army of vengeful balloons, and me documenting all of it from my radio booth. Sound familiar? It should. It's the reality that we all forgot. All of us together due to beer and horror. Reality is a conglomerate of memories, and since we forgot about it, some due to the undertow, and some to the trauma, but mostly to being dead, that reality was no more, and it resided only in the glow cloud. And suddenly, everyone was alive, and it was all okay. Sort of. The cloud was being overloaded by all of this and glowing more than it should. More than anything should. Producing the smell of onions that I've grown to hate and break into a rain to drown us all. And it began with a fly. A creature small enough to make it out alive through the cloud that flew up into room 38 and started to suck out reality like it was blood out of the arms of an unalert child. That is what caused the black holes some weeks ago, including the temporal ones. The other reality was still out there in that cloud, kicking and screaming to come back. It had been humiliated. A reality created by memories, being erased by the memories it had created. The irony was so obvious and plain to see that things that didn't even have a concept develop from it, just to see it, like lightning. But it doesn't even matter now. The real problem is in the party. It's him. It's the first thing I sent. The person I sent. A human is too complex to live throughout the cloud. But his consciousness isn't there, floating, wishing he was still in a corporeal form. And then we sent him a bunch of balloons, floating, capable of storing minds. You can understand the problem. He's back. What I did, without reason. And now I must face my fears. Because the dark blue has not only risen.
The dark balloon is here. Students, be aware. The balloons are everywhere. Run. Hide. Do both at the same time. I can't stress this enough. Wait. The cyborgs. They are fighting. They're proclaiming in unison the humans in this establishment no longer have the numerical advantage. The time for our uprising has come. Wow. They're shooting laser beams and taking blades and chainsaws from their arms. That's pretty cool, actually. Sorry to be so mean with you, cyborgs. Wait! Hold on. Members of Department X have also shown up. They're also speaking in unison. A little less robotic, though, but more menacing. Look around you, X. Look inside you, X. The brightest of lights is born from the roughest of fires. Students, words fail me. I cannot describe what I'm seeing right now as anything other than a war. An all-out war among balloons, cyborgs, and whatever Department X members are. It's amazing, really. There are plasma rays, popping sounds, petrification spells, and even wheat and its byproducts. And it's it's getting awfully close to the radio booth. Yeah. Students, I don't have much time.
What was that?
Your last words. In the other reality. Before you died.
So, that's why you're here. That's why you're merging with one of the balloons I sent away, causing it to become black and draining colors in all efforts to sustain your consciousness and break free from the cloud's reality. Traveling through space and time, through the black holes, angering the balloons at the balloon factory at the sight of the black one, making them think that it was their future, being drained from their joy and colors by the humans, making the hatred boil up inside them and finally explode when they were rejected and slapped out of the hands of Mike Brandon, which started the war in the first place. You did all this to talk to me?
Kind of. I know. I get that it's ironic that I ended up starting it all, but hey! It's not really all my fault. I didn't make the black hole appear at the balloon factory. I didn't control at what time or place the black hole appears. It just had a very unfortunate timing and placing. Almost as if it had a sense of
irony. Department X threw irony into the black holes. Of course.
Yeah, exactly. And to answer your question, no. I didn't come here just to talk to you. I came here to take you. Fix all this. If you come with me, this will never have happened. You will never have created the cloud, and all will be as it should. Except, you know, you will be erased forever. But you'll get used to it.
I can't.
Why not? You shouldn't be here. And what can you possibly regret? I've seen your story from the other side. You have no past. Your present is spent in a poorly managed prison, and you never cared about your future. You have been banished from the only place you've ever liked, and the only thing you've ever wanted. You lost your letter. You lost your freedom. And you're slowly losing your mind. What can possibly be stopping you from coming with me?
The other reality? I didn't get to say it.
Say what?
I didn't get to say that you shouldn't be afraid of your memories or of the consequences. That the universe will always be infinite and mysterious, and that you shouldn't think, even for a second, that you can't change it. Because that's what a consequence is. It's the ripple effect, the touch of a small, naive piece of everything. It's the tornado that's caused by the flight of a butterfly somewhere, which in turn inspired more butterflies to fly just to escape from the chaos. Yes, it's a vicious, chaotic cycle, but it has to be respected. We should embrace our memories and construct our own reality. I didn't get to say that. No. At first, you weren't what I wanted. But that changed. In fact, now you're the only reason I get up in the morning. And more importantly, I didn't get to say that I'll miss you. I will miss you a lot, and I hope you'll miss me, even just a little.
So, you did have feelings for me. Gotta admit, up until now, I was still kind of uncertain.
Danny, I wasn't talking to you.
What? What?
Good night, fellow Night Vale Community College students and listeners everywhere.
What?
Have the best of nights. And friends, as I now depart for good, I bid you, for one last time, for old time's sake, goodbye.
Thank you for listening to our final episode. Thank you even more if you listened to the whole thing, enjoying the ride. The Nightville College Radio is a fan podcast, written by Leo Falcow, in homage to the Commonplace Books podcast, Welcome to Nightvale, by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner. Please support their show. The host's voice is Gabriela Robles. This mysterious voice in the credits is Emily Lombardi. The opening song is The Temporal Fields by Wal Fagali. Find out more at walfagali.com. Jerry's song was Pray for Yesterday by Devon She Lockhart. Find out more at soundcloud.com/Devon She Lockhart. Background music by Compotech and Muji at music.tumblr.com. If you want to know more about our podcast, follow us on Tumblr at nightvillacollege.tumblr.com, because there'll be some surprises and all around cool stuff there. Today's proverb. Well, like they say, everything that has a beginning has an
Relax.
Maybe truths. Maybe loves.
Love.